This is FYI on your TV, brought to you by Hometown News. I'm Kathy Botham. I have got Erin Lee back with us, the Executive Director of the Lanark County Interval House and Community Support. Welcome back. It's been a long time. We've got lots to catch up on.
Good morning. It's always good to be with you, Kathy. And I have been very fortunate to have other staff who have been able to take up the opportunities to meet with you and to speak with you. So I'm very fortunate this morning that it's me.
That's right, that's right. And we're going to start off with, let's talk about your As Good as New store. You had a lot of renovations and you had a brand new opening of it. Let's talk about that.
Sure, it's very exciting. We were very fortunate in an application we made to the Ontario Trillium Foundation, and we were able to do a refresh of our store. So, kind of bring it into the 21st century and look at all the things that make the store attractive, but also not change the prices. So, we did a refresh, and the refresh has launched, and it's beautiful. And I think that it really speaks to valuing change, valuing evolution, and valuing our community. And at the same time, we also had received funds from the Ontario Trillium Foundation to launch a program called Suit Yourself. Suit Yourself is a program of empowerment. It's to support women who are ready to take the next step in rediscovering themselves, whether that's hair and makeup and clothing, whether that's interview preparations, whether it's mindfulness and grounding to reduce anxiety and stress. We've been very, very fortunate to have really great community support, to launch some videos, and we've launched the program and had our first client come through. And it's really designated for those who have survived intimate partner violence and really are ready to just embrace all of who they are, rediscover themselves, reinvent themselves, build their confidence, and move forward.
So that program itself, that you can get a nice suit, a nice dress, nice pants, or whatever you'd like. Because I mean, how good do you feel when you look at yourself in the mirror and you look confident and you think, okay, I look good. I feel confident. I can go to this interview. I can go to this doctor appointment. I can do this because I feel good about myself.
100%.
Yep.
It's really about doing and laying out the choices that can be afforded to women who have been struck down for many, many years and endured so much violence that whatever we can do to lift their spirits and lift their confidence. And it could be technology. It could be I need to
Mm-hmm.
learn how to navigate email. It could be online banking. It could be I need to get ready to go to court. I've never been to court. I'm not sure how to prepare in terms of how I present myself on all levels, whether that's emotionally and using some grounding techniques through our mindfulness trainer, or whether, as you said, it's about feeling really good and comfortable and confident in what I'm wearing.
Yeah, and when we talk about, intimate violence, so often you've been degraded and just not to be made to feel good or look good. And, when you can be with a bunch of people that can make you feel good about yourself, and when you look in the mirror and, yeah, I am worthy of this and I look good. I've been told for a long time I'm not worthy, and I can be.
Yeah, it's all those affirmations,
Yeah.
right? It's about coming out of the cycle and it's about taking your power back. Whatever that looks like, however you discover it, it's about us kind of lending a hand up, not a hand out, in terms of being able to support you to just discover it. And, you might be somebody who's interested in going into the trades, but the interview process you want to present a little bit differently than what you need to go into the trades. And maybe we have some clothing or some supplies that we can secure for you around the trade work that you're interested in doing, or helping you to connect with education to explore that field and the possibilities. So, really, the program is an endless opportunity for women who are surviving to reinvent themselves and move forward and feel like they have lots of people in our community who just really want to support them to be all of who they are.
Now, when we talk about the As Good as New store and the Suit Yourself program, are you looking for donations? Those are all donations.
Yes, all the programs are donations. So if you have some business style or court style clothes, you would Donate them to As Good as New at 33 Bridge Street in Carlton Place, the same place that you would donate any other clothing that you might have to give. The volunteers, they are amazing because our store is run by volunteers. They will sort clothes according to the specifications and what's needed by clients and suit yourself, and making sure, of course, that our store has high quality, good, solid items for our community members.
Now, your store itself, is that just clothes, or do you take other items, books, that sort of thing?
Our store takes clothing, our store takes shoes and boots, and it also takes toys. I believe that puzzles are problematic for us just in terms of the number of pieces, books, small housewares, so coffee makers, toasters, dishes, and of course, any decor items that might really support people in the community who are looking to refresh their place. Um, s- Anything that you think would be really relevant to your home. Unfortunately, we don't take large items. We don't take anything that might have an expiry like car seats or cribs,
Mm.
but certainly we do take any household items as well as, of course, the clothing that is very popular in our community.
Okay, okay. Now let's talk about some of your events too. Take Back the Night. It was just September 14th. What a great success that night was.
Take Back the Night was really an amazing event. The energy was really, really positive. Lots of people out, lots of people walking the entire march. Of course, Carlton Place had gone through some of their own renovations, so it was great for us to be able to take back the streets now that the roads are all completed, and lots of police support, both from Smiths Falls and the OPP, lots of political leadership amongst the crowd, and lots of young people who are really coming out and really talking about and engaging in dialogue about the realities of violence, the realities of navigating relationships and living in communities. So it was an amazing event, and we really appreciate the level of support that we have around our Take Back the Night March. And it's one of the main staples of events that, despite COVID, Take Back the Night happened every year, and it always happened in person and it always happened outside because that's what it's about. It's about being public and taking back our night.
And you know, some of your other events too, we're going to talk about too, like your Pebble Mosaic, the Pride event. I'm really glad you said that the young people are coming out too, because that's sometimes where the violence stops in families, is the young people. They're being
I think
educated.
that, yeah, I really think that schools and police services and community engagement is really supporting young people to have permission and to find their voice, to be able to see it, name it, change it, right? That's
Yes.
our campaign. That's our push, is when you see something, it's important to name it so we can change it. And things like Pride. Pride is an evolving event in all of our communities, but it's a welcoming event and it's an inclusive event so that you can be all of who you are. The Pebble Mosaic that we launched and installed in Smiths Falls is a beautiful spot in our community to reflect, to engage. The process of building that Pebble Mosaic was about community and was about engaging all members of community. It's not about artists, it's not about people who are advocates, it's about everybody in community saying we recognize that sexual violence is an issue in our community and we want to be talking about it and we want to have different options for people to explore. So you might want to go and shout it, Take Back the Night. You might want to spend a quiet moment reflecting on one of our three mosaics in Lanark County. You might go out and be loud and proud at Pride, or you might buy a ticket to Violet Femmes, our annual gala in Almont, which fortunately for us, it's sold out. Unfortunately, we know that there's still lots of people who'd like to go, and now we're carrying a waiting list. So maybe we have to explore a new venue because the support is just so strong in our community, and we don't want people to not get tickets, but unfortunately, we've sold out. And this week, we're doing the Love Bomb. We're hosting Love Bomb in Smiths Falls at Station Theater. And there's two sessions. One is for students, and one is for adult supporters and parents and community members. And Love Bomb really is a performance presented by actors who are skilled and knowledgeable around trafficking and around sex trafficking and looking at kind of the nuances and beginning and opening that dialogue so that we are empowering our kids to feel like, you know what, it's okay. You have permission to talk about things that make you feel uncomfortable. And we want to empower you so that you are prepared when you're navigating the world, how to manage your own safety and how to make sure that you know how to reach out to those who can support you.
That's right. And Lanark County Interval House isn't, just about, and it's such a big important, is about, a safe house for people to get away from violence. You do so much to educate people, which, is so needed as well, too.
Yes, I mean, I think that, thank you for mentioning that because we serve about 500 families through our shelter program, our other housing options. We have second stage and beyond second stage. And we also have a few scattered units in our community, thanks to great supporters who navigate with us. And our outreach programs are really, really busy. All of our groups are really busy. And that means that people are finding their courage, right? That means that people are being validated and are feeling like they can make a choice, and the choice is to escape that violence, the choice is take space from that violence, and the choice is to heal from that violence.
All right, all right. Now, before we wrap up, I know you've got an update on the Renfrew, the CKW event too. Can you tell people about that, please?
Sure. I think that it's important for people to know that Lanark County Interval House worked as part of the inquest working group for the inquest, as we just had the anniversary, the 8th year anniversary of the Renfrew inquest, the Renfrew murders, I'm sorry. The inquest brought to us 86 recommendations. Recommendation number one was to declare intimate partner violence an epidemic. The province has still not responded well to that, but I will tell you that Lanark County was the first municipality to pass that declaration, and it's amazing what small communities can do to impact big change. As of yesterday, Thunder Bay is on board. We now have about 48 municipalities across Ontario who have made that declaration, and it started small in Lanark County, and it's everywhere. Toronto made it, Ottawa made it, Renfrew County, of course, made it, and we are just building momentum. And the community is engaged, and the community is pushing and saying, this is an epidemic. It is fast spreading. It touches all communities, it touches all socioeconomic realms. It's everywhere, and we need to really work together to mitigate and create safer communities. And so with 48, we now have approximately 70% of the Ontario population represented in the municipalities who have declared intimate partner violence an epidemic. And I am so proud of Lanark County for taking that step and being the first to make the declaration and to lead us forward. And I think that, it's really important that we continue to talk about and move those recommendations forward because it's a roadmap. It's a roadmap with a focus on rural communities because the murders happened in a rural community. It is really specific, and I think that the momentum that's happening across the province and across municipalities is really great. And I think that if people are interested, they should visit Lake 88 every week. We talk about
Mm-hmm.
one of the recommendations, and every week I comment on the recommendation to try and help keep the dialogue going, but also to help simplify some of the information that if you're reading the 50-page report, it might seem a bit overwhelming. But if you take one recommendation at a time, and then every once in a while you listen and you go to Lake 88 and you go back and you say, you know what, I want to go back to recommendation number 9. I just need to hear what Erin said about it, and then I either agree or disagree, or I feel like I can be part of that solution. And I think everyone can find a recommendation that speaks to them.
Absolutely, and I do appreciate that Lake 88 does that too, because and you as well too. It is an overwhelming document, but when you can break it down and put it into terms people understand it, and we know it's happening. And thank goodness Lanark County took that. I'm so proud of being a Lanark County person and doing that. And it's because we're so small too. I think it's because when something like this happens to somebody, we know the face, we know the name. So it's so important.
100%.
Yeah.
I think that small communities are making loud statements about not accepting the violence that's happening in their community. And I think our media outlets, whether that be your TV, whether that be Metroland or Lake 88, I think that it's really important. I think that you make time all the time. You
Mm-hmm.
make time for the voices and the messages that come from Lanark County Interval House and beyond in many service sectors in the community. And I think that it's a really strong statement because we know that media is shifting and media is changing. But what we know in our own community is it's always been like that. We lean in on each other. We talk about what's important to our community, and people like you and people like Lake 88 and Metroland are really doing their part to ensure that media is on it and making sure that the community is hearing it first from trusted voices. And if it's your trusted voice, Kathy, people are going to pay attention. If it's some folks from Lake 88 or some of the notable reporters in our community, people actually pay attention. And you're part of the team. We're all working together. Everybody's important and everybody has a role. And I think Lanark County does that so well.
Well, you have to add your name to that trusted voice too, Erin. And I thank you
Thank
very
you.
much for joining us here on FYI so often too, because we need to keep up to date with everything. How do people get a hold of you, Erin, if they want more information on Interval House or any of the events we were talking about?
You can feel free to visit us on our socials on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. You can go to lcih.org, and that's our website. And if you are in crisis, I would suggest that you call 613-257-5960. That's our 24-hour a day, 7-day a week crisis line. You are not alone, and we are here to support you.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure to talk with you, Erin. Erin Lee, the Executive Director of Lanark County Interval House and Community Supports. Thanks for joining us here again on FYI.
Thank you so much for making time.